Today at JP Morgan, we're glad to announce that we fixed blockchain with the new JP Morgan coin. Bitcoin is too decentralized. What if we need to freeze accounts? What if we need to create more? That's just simply not possible on a decentralized network. JP Morgan coin is the future of cryptocurrency.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Box Mining, and I hope you guys enjoyed the JP Morgan coin announcement. That really caught me off by surprise. I had to look at it twice and try to figure out what's happening. I mean, they've only been trash talking Bitcoin and calling it a fraud. No big deal. But now they come up with their own coin. Joke or not, let's take a look at what this thing actually is. Before we start, remember to smash up that like button and subscribe to this channel. Essentially, JP Morgan coin is a coin that is completely controlled by JP Morgan. And it acts very much similar to a stable coin like USD Tether, where every coin they issue is backed by $1 in JP Morgan accounts. Now, why they're doing this is because of how much money is being moved around by JP Morgan. So it's kind of like an internal coin usage for their internal global payments. It's really functioning as a tool to solve a problem, and they do have a problem that they need to solve. And this is definitely not going to be the first banker's coin. Their European Union banks are also trying to come up with a similar concept. And there's nothing that can stop a centralized authority from adopting cryptocurrency technologies. It's actually all open source. So if they wanted to create a variant of Bitcoin or a variant of Ethereum with smart contract technology, then they can definitely do so. Now, in terms of how this is actually going to affect our crypto ecosystem, that's not totally clear right now, because right now the stated use case for this JP Morgan coin has been for internal transfers. So basically, they have trillions of dollars being transferred each day, and for a small portion of that, of these global transfers, they're going to use this JP Morgan coin. Well, what's going to be interesting is if this is going to be released to the public, can we have access to it, and will challenge something like the USDT. Because stable coins has been a very hotly contested area, because we as people on crypto, we need to use it as a tool. But there's also been a lot of cases where audits of these coins have been a problem. And we've been seeing even challengers to USDT, say for example the GUSD, they were not fully honoring every single withdrawal for US dollar. And that reason is because there's a lot of issues with working with big banks. Big banks don't trust crypto. And a lot of outside companies, third parties that try to work with these banks, they've come and hit roadblocks. Now with JP Morgan coin, that might be very different because it's a bank issued coin and they want to flex some muscling into the space. So definitely in terms of challenging stable coins, it might be a possibility if they release it. Now the other kind of smaller or bigger challenge is with XRP Ripple, because Ripple is trying to solve very much the same problem that JP Morgan coin is trying to solve, which is global payments. Now, Ripple Labs is working with more partners, and JP Morgan is working well itself. But the interesting and the scary part is that these big banks, they have much closer connections with each other because they've been, conglomerating and working with each other for the past few decades. So in that case, what we might see is more bank coins and maybe them working together to figure out a way to solve this payment issue. Overall, just been finding this situation hilarious because they've been downplaying the importance of cryptocurrency. They've also been lying to us and calling Bitcoin a fraud when their own bank, JP Morgan, has been purchasing and proven to be purchasing Bitcoin in the past.
Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
At the end of the day, it's all about bankers. They can say whatever they want as long as it's not illegal. They can say it and make a profit. Why not, right? Next up on the news, in terms of public blockchains, we got the government of Seoul. Here, they're announcing they're going to work and select their blockchain to do a lot of government needs. So they're trying to solve government problems in a city-wide initiative and using blockchain, and they chose an Icon to do it. And for the first case usage of Icon, they're going to distribute government documents. What they're saying is that they're going to use a $100 million blockchain as a glorified email service. That's efficiency for you. But in all seriousness, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get 200 companies together to develop in this distributed ledger world. They're trying to solve real problems, but so far, pretty much just email. I actually do think it's quite interesting that we're still very early on, and a lot of people are very interested in testing out blockchain, at least giving it a try. Because there's been a long time, and a lot of people have been saying blockchain is not a database. It can't be used beyond just a simple ledger to track crypto payments like Bitcoin. Right now, we're at a phase where we can use it to program and create different applications. This is where Ethereum and all the smart contract platforms comes in. And the use case isn't fully proven yet, but there's a lot of people who are definitely in the mood to try it out. And this is the same case with Baidu as well. So Baidu recently announced their own platform for dApps. Why this is important is because Baidu is essentially the Google of China. So it's a big, giant titan of internet company, and they're exploring and developing a blockchain specifically for cloud compute and for big data. Seeing all these big words, AI, big data, cross-chain, smart contracts, you pretty get the sense that they want to be as broad as possible to generate hype. So they're definitely benefiting from the blockchain hype, but also trying to stimulate it. Now, this really tells us two things. It tells us that blockchain is still very early, so it hasn't really found its perfect application yet. So this is a good and bad thing. It means that, well, there's a lot of potential to go for. But it means that there are no guarantees in the space. We don't know if blockchain can solve all these problems or if it's the perfect solution for it. And that's it for today's episode. I hope you guys have a great weekend. See you guys next week.